State advances with a 52-29 win over Minnesota State. They are now going to the semifinals of the D2 football playoffs. This was a game that at one point it truly seemed like Ferris State was just going to run away with this thing, and it truly was because of a big second quarter and a big fourth quarter. It truly seemed like in the second quarter this was even going to be a big competitive game at all, especially in the second half. But you obviously have to give a ton of credit to Minnesota State. But again, it truly was those second quarter and the fourth quarter, because out of their 52 points, 42 of those points came in the second quarter and the fourth quarter. When Ferris State needed big drives, they were able to get in. It truly started out this game with having a 23-yard field goal from Eddie Jewett. Minnesota State actually did take the lead in this game with a pretty good drive from Minnesota State. Went 75 yards and then a 1-yard touchdown run. But truly after that, it was really, like I was mentioning before, Ferris State just dominated the second quarter for the most part, and it was running the ball consistently. Tariq Brett did have a 60-yard touchdown catch to begin the second quarter, but at one point it was 24-7 with about 6 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. And you have to obviously give Minnesota State a ton of credit, because after that, Minnesota State went on a 9-drive, 73-yard touchdown scoring drive with about a minute 50 left to go. And when that ended up happening, it really obviously kind of stalled Ferris State's momentum a little bit. It was still a 24-14 game in this one at Tap Tiger Field, but it's a little bit more manageable than a 24-7 deficit. After that, Minnesota State got a 96-yard interception returned for a touchdown by Amon Williams. That was really kind of the moment that Minnesota State just had full momentum. And it was really the point of this game where I don't want to say you got concerned, but you knew it was going to be a little bit of a rock fight, because it really seemed like up to that point, Ferris was kind of controlling things for the most part. And it was a lot to do with Chase Carter, who ended up being the leading rusher of this team. I believe 144 yards on the day. He did have 2 touchdowns, did have 1 interception, which was the one from Amon Williams. But he was really great in this game. He continues to be great. Tariq Brett continues to be great. Like I mentioned, he had the 1 touchdown in the second quarter. He's just a baller, and he's a guy that when you get the ball to, he's truly a different playmaker for this team. Carson Gallker was involved as well, especially in the fourth quarter. He's a guy that when you need a big play or when you need really a first down in a short yardage situation, he's going to get the ball. And he ended up scoring 1 touchdown in the third quarter, ended up scoring a touchdown in the fourth quarter. And then truly in the fourth quarter was when Ferris State kind of started to turn things up quite a bit, offensively running the ball. Brady Rose got a big 41-yard touchdown. Jake Price ended up scoring a touchdown with about 35 seconds left to get it to a 52-29 win. So at the end of the day, it ended up being a 3-score game for Ferris State. I don't think it was ever truly out of doubt, besides kind of being basically a 3-point game, pretty halfway in between the third quarter. But truly after that, it was just mainly Ferris State making mistakes. Because if you look at just offensively, if it wasn't for those mistakes, I don't think Minnesota State would have been in this game, to be completely honest with you. Obviously, the pick six is going to play a huge part of it. But Ferris State was able to run the ball very effectively. Didn't have to throw the ball very much, 175 yards. If you look at total offense, Ferris State had over 200 yards more than Minnesota State did in this game. Ferris was really good on third down efficiency. They did go for fourth down once, and they were able to get in. Then obviously, outside of that, just time of possession. Ferris State just dominated time of possession. I talked about going into this game how I thought Minnesota State could maybe make it a little bit closer, is that if they dominated time of possession. And while they didn't dominate time of possession, I think that's a big reason why Ferris State was able to put up 52 points in this game, was time of possession, being able to run the ball effectively and not make as many mistakes. They did make some mistakes, but also Minnesota State made some mistakes in this game as well. Their quarterback ended up throwing for 2 interceptions. Mitchell Thompson ended up throwing for 2 interceptions to the same guy, too, which is kind of crazy. But you have to give a ton of credit to Justin Payat. Sorry if I completely botched your name. 2 interceptions on the day. He's a guy that has just been making plays. You have a couple other players make a ton of plays in this one as well. You talk about defensively. I thought that Ferris was really good. Isaiah Byers was the leading tackler. Brady Hamby continues to be a guy that continues to really step up. He's been an impactful guy since the middle of the season, and I think he's going to be a well-known name for this Ferris State defense for a while. We talk about linebackers that they've had. I think Brady Hamby is going to be one of those linebackers that will be given a lot of opportunities. I think he's truly a baller. Nolan Ziegler is another linebacker that's been playing very, very well. Tim Allen has been playing very, very well. Eric Jackson had a good game in this one. This defense just has the right attitude and the right style of play to win a lot of these games. And there's, like I said before, there's never truly a moment of panic. Like, even when it was a 3-point game, you never truly felt like Ferris State was going to lose it. You knew that Ferris State offensively was going to get going. You knew that interception wasn't going to be kind of the end point for the quarterback play. You just knew that whatever would happen, that they would respond. And I think that's really the biggest point of this whole thing, is that obviously the talent that Ferris State has is immense. Like, I think they're by far the most talented team. I've said that multiple different times. I think they're a much better team than Minnesota State. And full credit to Minnesota State. They had a great year. I don't think a lot of people thought that they would be in this game, to be completely honest with you. I thought a lot of people probably thought it was going to be UIndy in this game. But they really played well. They fought back, and they didn't let this game get truly out of hand until kind of the fourth quarter, when Ferris State really truly gets stronger as the game goes on, which is one of the most scary things in the world. Is you know that Ferris State is already extremely talented, but you know the offensive line is just going to start leaning on you throughout the game, and once you get to that point, it truly becomes a very difficult task to win, and that's exactly what happened. Ferris State was able to run the ball effectively, throw the ball what they needed to do, and now they go to the semifinals. And this is a semifinals that is going to be really interesting. This is going to be a Ferris State team that is obviously very familiar with being in the semifinals. This is going to be an opportunity for them to get back to the national championship, maybe repeat like they did last year. We'll definitely see what will happen, but it was a good game from Ferris State. Do I think they are playing the best football that they have been? No, I don't think they're playing the best football that they have been. And I think getting a 52-29 win and not necessarily playing the best football you have been is pretty scary for other teams. I think when they get truly locked in and have a complete 60-minute game, that's truly when things will get very, very scary for other teams. And this is a very scary and very athletic and very talented team, nevertheless. But good win for Ferris State. On to the semifinals. It will be a fun matchup. I'll obviously preview that one. But if you enjoyed this, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, comment, all that kind of stuff, and I will preview that matchup a little bit later.